Okay, guys, welcome back to my Job series. I think this is the third episode already. I cannot believe, guys, we're already on the third episode. I think it's crazy. We've done this for 3 weeks already. This is honestly so awesome. So thankful that you guys have been tuning in each week. I'm also over live on my Instagram. Hopefully that works as well with the internet connection here, guys. I'm trying to keep it so that I can have every place I go live so that everybody can see it regardless of what platform they utilize. So today we're going to be going through Job chapter 12 a little bit more. I know last week we talked a little bit about Job chapter, let's see here. Yeah, we did about, I don't know why my notes are like that. That's not where I was. But we were in Job chapter 12 around like verse 7 and 8. Now I'm just going to make sure that my notes are synced here because a lot of my notes are not sunk up. Yeah, here we go. So my notes right here are pretty much sunk up where they're supposed to be. So right now we are in about verse 15, I believe already, which is insane because I feel like we've been going fast but also kind of slow. So we're just going to get on with it. But first of all, I'm just going to pray. Just say a quick little prayer as I have been doing in these episodes. So I just want to pray. Thank you, Lord, for allowing me to be alive yet again for another live stream. It's so crazy because my Instagram just said I'm not live anymore, but whatever. It's all right. I guess God only wants me live on YouTube right now, and that's totally fine. But I just pray, Lord, that you would just bless everybody who's watching this live stream right now, and that they would be encouraged by everything, and that they would do their own research, that they would continue researching, and it would spark some questions. And I pray that all in Jesus' name, amen. So let's just see here why my Instagram isn't working. I was using the app. Okay, it looks like it's back now. Hopefully my Instagram live is back. If not, it doesn't really matter. So we're going to get on with Job chapter 12. And as always, guys, if you have any questions as I go live, I'm going to turn on the comments on my end in case you guys have them as we go on. And I'm just going to get started. So I'm going to make sure the Bible's on the screen because I almost started without the Bible on screen. Thank the Lord. I remember that. That's not what I want. That's better. Okay. So we're going to get started here with verse 15 here. It says, if he withholds the waters, they dry up. If he sends them out, they overwhelm the land. Now, withholds the waters, they dry up. It's a straight up reference to a drought. Obviously, if waters are withheld, it's going to dry up. Just even think about like where you live, wherever you live. If it doesn't rain for a while, it's going to dry up. Things are going to dry up, especially around here, at least where I'm from. Like if it doesn't rain for a while, my grass, starts getting really like yellowy and like just doesn't look right. Even plants, they just start looking droopy and like they don't look right, right? So the next thing that it says here, scientifically, lack of precipitation equals soil dries, crops die, and ecosystems collapse, which is, like I just said before, even if the grass starts dying out, even if grass starts dying out because of a drought, you notice that a lot of animals that feed on grass, like a bunny rabbit, for example, is not going to be able to get significant nutrients because the grass is all like, shriveled up and it just doesn't look right. So this happens when the atmospheric conditions block rain or persistent high pressure systems. Now, here where it talks about sending them out, they overwhelm the land. This is describing a flood. So obviously, it's the opposite going on here. So we have where he's withholding the waters and it's drying up, giving a drought, and then he's sending them out, meaning he's sending out the waters and he's overwhelming the land. Because what is happening is that when he's sending out the rain, it's overwhelming the land by just dripping and dripping, almost creating like puddles. I'm assuming it's probably puddles. This could refer to a torrential rain, tsunamis, or a storm surge, which are obviously all different types of ways that rain can really just be overwhelming a land. Whatever the cause, it is overrunning the natural boundaries. Climate science confirms water cycles are extremely powerful, and both drought and flooding are driven by the same natural forces, just in different modes. So there's 100% scientific accuracy, as this is describing the extremes of hydraulical cycle, a core concept in earth science, which is absolutely insane that the Bible even is recognizing that, which is so cool. So we're going to go on to the next verse here, which we got to go all the way down. I think, yeah, wow. Okay, we're in Job chapter 14 now, I believe. Let me just, Job chapter 14, verses 4, right? Yeah, I can't read that. Sorry, guys. I am so sorry. Job chapter 14, verse 7 through 9. My eye just like literally saw 4, not 14. So right here it says, for there is no hope for a tree. If it be cut down, that it will sprout again, and that its shoots will not cease. Though its roots grow old in the earth, and its stump die in the soil, yet at the scent of water it will bud, and put out branches like a young plant. So then it says here, for there is hope for a tree. if it will be cut down, that it will sprout again, and that its shoots will not cease. So this is describing vegetative regeneration, a real biological process. Many trees can regrow after being cut down from stumps, roots, or dormant buds. Now, this actually reminds me of when you get a Christmas tree. I don't know if you guys have ever gotten like a real Christmas tree, but like we used to years ago. And what we would do is that I think when you get the tree, they would like cut like the end piece of it. Because like I don't know why they would do that honestly, but I do remember going to like the tree farm when you chop it down with your axe or like your saw, and they would literally, the guys that would take it afterwards, they would cut off like a piece on the end. Like think about this like right here, and they would like chop a little piece. So that's what they would do, and I always found that interesting. And there's got to be a reason why it's doing that, because probably it's helping for growth, even just maintaining it for the amount of months, or not months, I wish it was months, weeks that you have the tree inside of your home. Now it says here, known as, I cannot read this, so I'm not going to pronounce any of that. Actually, I'm just going to ignore that note. Sorry, guys. But I'll read the next note. It says, as long as the root system is alive, the tree has a shot of bouncing back. Now, this actually reminds me of something, and this just came to my head as I was reading this. It reminds me of the story that Jesus spoke about in, I forgot which gospel, but it's about a fig tree. So I'm just going to look it up. It might take me a second, guys. Bear with me if I can't find it. It's about the fig tree. So let me just see. No, I want the fig tree story. Give me a second, guys. I will definitely find it. Fig. It was in the Gospels. It was a fig tree. A fig tree, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, guys. I'm going to find it. So it was about a fig tree. Fig tree's roots, Peter, blah, blah. Sorry, guys. I don't know exactly where it is. I think I might just have to open up in a different browser, but I think this is it. There we go. Okay, so I just found it, guys. Awesome. Okay, cool. Sorry, guys. It took me a second, and I think I might have X'd out of my Job. It's totally fine. Let me just put Job back in there, guys. Job 14, verse 7. Okay, there we go. So this reminded me of this parable of the barren fig tree, because it's talking about there is no hope for a tree. If it is cut down, it will sprout again, and its shoots will not cease. And, it's talking about also how there's its shoots will not cease. And then down here, it's talking about the roots growing and all that. And then even here, it says the scent of water will bud. So what's very interesting here, and I'm going to try to put these next to each other because I think there's going to be some parallels here. So it says a man had a fig tree planted in his vineyard, and he came seeking fruit on it and found none. So the guy is in his vineyard. He's trying to seek fruit on this fig tree, and he doesn't find any. And he said to the vine dresser, now a vine dresser here, let's see what it says, what a vine dresser is. I don't believe it's going to tell me, is it? Let's look up what a vine dresser is. So here, a vine dresser, I believe it's just somebody that works in a vineyard. If I'm not mistaken. Let me just see again, guys, if I can get that information for you guys. If not, I'm so sorry if I'm doing way too many things there at once. Let's see. I wish I had a guess to like entertain you guys while I do this, but vine dresser. Okay. That wasn't in the right spot, is it? Vine dresser. Oh, there we go. Vine dresser. Okay, so we got a vine dresser here. The topic is a vine dresser. Let's just ignore that. I'll do it another time, and I can share that with you guys. And hello to the person that has joined over on Instagram. Okay, so a man had a fig tree planted in his vineyard. We just said that. And he said to the vine dresser, look, for 3 years now, I have come seeking fruit on this fig tree, and I find none. So for a long time, over 3 years, he hasn't sought anything. Cut it down. So what does he want? He wants to cut down. Why should it use up the ground? So it's kind of similar here, as there's no hope for a tree. If it will be cut down, then it will sprout again. So it's just like, I'm going to cut it down. There's no hope for it. And then it says here, and he answered him, sir, let it alone this year also, until I dig around it and put on manure. I think some translations also say like dirt around it. Manure is just kind of like dirt and all that stuff. And then it says, then if it should bear fruit next year, well and good, but if not, you can cut it down. So what is it doing here? So it's saying, well, they're saying here that you should give it some time here, because it's even talking about, though its roots grow old in the earth and its stump die in the soil, yet at the scent of water it will bud. So it's saying that at the scent of water, it's going to bud, but most likely it's going to need some dirt and all that stuff, because it even says its stump will die in the soil here if it's being cut down. But again, if you maintain the tree and you actually do stuff to it, like it will bear fruit next year if you put some manure around it, some water. So it's really just reconfirming this idea that even with a plant here, like a fig tree is a great example of that. If you were to, maintain it and keep maintaining that, it's going to eventually bud, and it's going to eventually bud back, because here he's saying in this parable that the man has this fig tree. He's so frustrated that nothing's happening with it. And it's similar to like how our faith journey is. You think nothing's happening. You just want to cut down everything. So like, God, I'm just going to cut it down because, what's the point of this if nothing's happening? But he's like, no, we're going to water it. We're going to grow it. And we're going to see what happens, because just giving up cold turkey is not going to do anything. Even here for the tree, like there's no hope for a tree if it's cut down. So if you cut it down, where's your hope going to go? You're going to have no more hope because you've already cut that down. Can it sprout if it's already cut down and gone? But again, here, if you add some water to it and you really manicure it and take care of it and really feed it, there is a chance that that tree is just going to bloom and blossom, and it's just going to be this beautiful, stunning tree, just like the fig tree, and it's going to yield some really good fruit. It's going to have some really delicious, yummy fruit. Like if this guy decided to say, hey, look, I'm not going to listen to you. Yeah, you say put dirt. I'm done. I don't even want to try dirt. I feel like I've already tried dirt. That's not even going to work, right? You put dirt. You want to. No, I'm not doing that. He's missing out on a potential to have a beautiful, delicious fig tree. So that's really cool, guys. So we're going to go back here to our series. I'm going to move that over, X out of Luke, and then we're going to go back. So the next verse here, see if it actually takes me there. That's not correct. All right, so now we're here in Job chapter 14, verse 18 through 19, and it says, but the mountain falls and crumbles away, and the rock is removed from its place. The waters wear away the stones. The torrents wash away the soil of the earth. So you destroy the hope of man. So right here it says that mountains do crumble through freezing thaw cycles, chemical weathering, seismic activity, and plain old time. Rock displacement is real, caused by landslides, tectonic shifts, or glaciers. Mountains aren't forever. Even the tallest wear down. The Appalachians were once as high as the Rockies, and now they're rolling hills, which I didn't even know that. That's really cool. And again, hello to the next person that was on Instagram, saying hi to everybody in the chat. And it's very interesting here. I didn't even realize even that was even a thing with the Appalachians. If you know more about that, let me know. Send me an email, DM me, anything. Like, let me know about that. That's cool. So it says the scientific accuracy here about the stuff we just talked about, even about the erosion and all that it says here that the Earth's crust is constantly breaking down and reshaping, which I found very interesting. So it's already talking about how the mountains are crumbling and falling away and the rock is removed from its place. So it's already talking about that mountains are crumbling and that there is a displacement caused by all these different things. And it's very interesting here. It also talks about the earth is constantly breaking down and reshaping. And the Bible even is aware of that, which I think is so cool. Now, down here, it also says the waters wear away the stones. Water, especially over long periods, smooth shapes and dissolves rocks. So if you've ever been to a beach, right, think about the beach. If you're not from a beach, look up beaches. If you've been only a couple times, I live near beaches, so I know this. It's very interesting when I have two types of beaches where I'm from. I have like a really smooth sand beach and then like a rockier beach on one side. So think of it like the land's right here and there's like two separate beaches. So what's interesting is that when the beach is softer, I noticed that the waves, there's more wave action in the area. So there's a lot of waves that just are like constantly crashing on the surface. Then if you go to the other beach on the opposite side, there's not as much wave action and the rocks are or the sand is still very rocky. It's like, it feels like your feet like hurt a lot. And even like I've been to beaches around where I'm from where there's so many rocks, like your feet hurt. It's almost like stones, like big stones. And it's very interesting because there's not a lot of wave action that's able to kind of crash that through. And it's very interesting how that happens there. Rivers, rain, waves, and even dripping caves can carve. I don't know why I just said that. Can carve through stones, which is very interesting. The Grand Canyon, literally this verse in action, which is so interesting. Grand Canyon, like who would have thought? And then here it says, yes, for scientific accuracy, that water is the most powerful erosive force on Earth, which is very interesting. Now it says the torrents wash away the soil of the Earth. This points to soil erosion, a major environmental issue today. Flooding and fast-moving water strip away topsoil, ruining crops and ecosystems. This is why we use terracing trees, and cover crops in agriculture to fight what this verse describes. Yep, soil erosion is well documented, or is a well documented natural process. I guess we'll do one more verse while we have time. We like to go to like 15 to 17 minutes. And hello to the next person over on Instagram. This is great. You guys are joining over on Instagram. So definitely keep up with the Instagram live as well. Okay, so we're going to do, we just did that one. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going in the wrong direction. All right, so we're going to do the final verse for the day. Right here is Job chapter 24. So it says, drought and heat snatch away the snow waters. So does Sheol, those who have sinned. So we're just going to focus on the scientific part here. Again, this is very similar to the verse, and I like how we're circling back to almost like the beginning of what we talked about here. So right here it says in verse 24, so drought and heat snatch away the snow. So obviously, if there is heat and it gets warmer, the snow is going to kind of melt into like a watery substance, obviously. That is pretty obvious, right? If you're in an area where it snows and then maybe the next few days it warms up a bit, then you start seeing a constant drip. A lot of times I'll see like icicles on like roofs or cars, even underneath your car, you might get it. And then it just starts dripping into like a watery substance, which is very interesting. And it says less winter precipitation means less stored water. Heat equals a fast melt. Warmer temperatures melt snow quickly all at once. Heat equals evaporation. Snow can disappear directly into the air. Warmth equals rain, not snow. Precipitation might not build snowpack, and the result is less water later. Drought and heat reduce available water from the snow, and as we said earlier, it's a lot easier for snow to melt, obviously, in a warmer climate. And this is something I think that's happening, unfortunately, with like the polar ice caps, how they're melting because of climate change. Apparently, that's what I've heard somewhere, and I think that's so interesting. So that is going to be my final verse of today. I think we're moving along pretty well, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this series. I'm going to go and do full screen now because I think I can. Yeah, guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys have any questions, I'm going to leave my banner back up here. So yeah, if you have any questions and you do not have access to Instagram, Facebook, or like here on YouTube, cannot make a comment, but you want to ask a question, and if you weren't able to during this episode, if you have any questions on Instagram, please drop them below. If you have any questions here on YouTube, drop them below, and I can answer them. If you don't have any right now, but you think of them later, please make sure to contact me over here, and I will get to you as soon as possible. I'm also going to add this up here. If you have interest in what I've been talking about and you want to learn a little more, dive a little deeper here, I have written multiple books over on Amazon, and they're linked in my profile, and they do discuss the book of Job in a much deeper kind of way. So if you want to check that out, you can over in my profile on Amazon. And as always, thank you so much for watching this episode. I'll see you back next Saturday, and peace be with you.